So, hello everyone, welcome to this episode of SNEED-CAST. Today we have a very special guest. We're here with Jessie Lee, who happens to be the founder of the Street Company. They're a company that prided themselves on bringing together the homeless people to work, reconnect, and thrive. So, hello Jessie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And so, before we jump into how you got the Street Company started, we actually found out that you were a songwriter or a singer songwriter before. So, if you can kind of tell us a little bit about that and how that led to starting off.
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's a long time ago when I actively, perform and writing songs. Right
Hmm.
after graduating from high school, I really loved, singing and writing songs. So even though I'm an immigrant, my parents are Asian, and they have a great passion about sending their kids to a prestigious college. I told them I'm not gonna go to college. I'm just gonna write songs and sing songs. And I decided to focus on writing songs and singing songs after graduating from high school. And yeah, I've been writing songs and performing locally and regionally. And actually, that led me to start the relationship with the homeless people in Lancaster. So one of the pastor that I know, he was doing at the time about many years ago, like 10 years ago, was doing a breakfast service for homeless people at his church in Lancaster. So he knew that I have this song called Born to Be Loved that has a song that has a very positive message. And he called me one day and said, "Hey, Jesse, can you come up to my church and sing that song for the homeless people who gather for the meal?" And I said, "Yes, of course I can do that, but I'm going to just do it
Hmm.
once because I live in Pasadena. Going up to Lancaster takes about 1 hour. So I didn't want to do it every week. So I told him, I can do it once." and I
Hmm.
and I sang my song, and the people who gathered there, I think that song touched their heart, and they really came to me and asked me if I can come again. So, and I decided to go up there every week, and that was the beginning of the relationship with homeless people.
Right. And then, whenever you started the Street Company on a personal level, how did you get the idea for it? What was the inspiration behind it?
Um, so I did not start the I did not start Street Company with an
Hmm.
idea. I would say it started with a relationship because
Okay.
I did not have any clear idea about organization. I did not even imagine about starting an organization.
Hmm.
But I would say my relationship with homeless people in Lancaster, and I began singing songs for them, and on Tuesday, every Tuesday. And I've been going up to Lancaster every Tuesday singing songs, and I really wanted to know more about them and why they're experiencing homelessness. So I took another day, which is
Hmm.
Thursday, and I began visiting homeless people's encampment. And I brought food, some chickens and barbecue, purchased at Costco, and I ate with them. Sometimes I watched movie with them. Occasionally, I slept in the desert with them, and I really became close friends with many of the homeless people that I met. And ever since I became friends, it's not just I call them friends, but we became friends that we just hang out
Hmm.
and have great time together. And I really did not want to do things for them anymore because they're my friends. When you think about friends, you don't do things for them. You're not there to provide something for your friends. You're just
Hmm.
there to have great time together and have fun and do meaningful things together. So ever since I became friends with them, I began thinking like we should do something together rather than I do things for them. So that relationship, the friendship, really organically, led us to start Street Company at the park.
Right. And then from there, since you mentioned that the company hadn't officially started, What was the mission or what was the goal at that point?
So we started our park meeting in 2016 September. At that
Mm,
time, we did not have any goal. We
right.
just began gathering as a community and began sharing our life stories, sufferings, and encouragements and hope. And we spent our time just sharing ourselves for about 2 years. And
Mm,
then I asked my friends that we have to do something a little bit more meaningful than just sharing our lives. And I asked them, what do we need to do in order to get back on our own feet again? And everybody said we need jobs, right? It's a
mm,
very simple solution. If we have a job, we can support ourselves and our loved ones, right? So that's when we came up with this idea. Then, you know, it's a reality that not many employers wants to hire homeless people for many reasons and for many obvious reasons. So that's when I offer them, how about we start our own company so that we can hire ourselves and hire our friends on the street. And that's
mm.
how street company came about. And that's 2018, which is 2 years after we initiate our meeting at the park.
Right. And how would you say that those goals have evolved till now? Because you're talking about 2018 to now 2025. Obviously, you've had some time to create some clear objectives, clear goals. How would you say they've changed?
Yeah, so our mission is creating jobs for homeless people.
Mm,
We believe in jobs. Jobs are very important. Jobs are not merely a source of income, but it's a way that people associate with other people, and also contribute to the community through goods and
right.
services that they create. So at first, our goal was to create a coffee shop, just a small coffee
Mm,
shop, mom and pop shop, so that we can, serve coffee and, begin expanding. Um, we started with farmers market, and we were doing okay. We did not make a great money, but we certainly made some money. Um,
mm,
and we were walking very slowly towards our goal, which is opening up a coffee shop. However, March 2022, like everybody know in the world, the COVID happened, and we couldn't do our farmers market activity anymore, right? The county said absolutely no public event. So we had to stop there. So that's when
mm,
we began thinking about different vision. So, I mean, at the time as a leader, there was so much uncertainty. And I even thought about, maybe we should stop here. And I asked my members who are back then still experiencing homelessness. And I asked them, do you want to stop here? And all of them said no, heck no. And they said we have to just move on no matter what. So that's when we decided to pivot our business direction into a roasting business, so that we can roast our beans and send it to anywhere. um yeah, so our goal has changed. uh we decided to start a wholesale roasting business, and
mm,
now we officially launched our wholesale business in 2022 September, and it's been about 2.5 years now. And now we're selling our coffee to major hospitals throughout LA County. We became a official vendor, coffee bean vendor of world's largest food service company, which is the Compass Group. Um, so our goals now is to keep expanding our wholesale accounts so that we can hire more homeless people. And having just the one social enterprise, there's a limitation. So
mm,
in 2026, we have a goal to expand our social enterprise to a hydroponic greenhouse farming. So we raised about $400,000 to start that venture. So our timeline is to make that farm fully operational by March 2026.
wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
And then getting back to going from farmers markets to wholesale, what would you say is the biggest difference in that journey or between the two?
Can you ask me that question again?
So when we're talking about going from like farmers markets to now a wholesale business, what would you say are the key differences?
Oh, that's a really good question. So the difference will be the professionalism that I expect from our members.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we do the farmers market, it is very easy for me to control the setting, right? It's just a very small group, five
Mm-hmm.
to six people, and it's very easy to manage. However, now we're at a wholesale facility, running a lot bigger roster and with a lot larger number of people. And of course, we're a nonprofit that wants to help unhoused people. At the same time,
Mm-hmm.
it is a business that has to make revenue. And the production and all the production schedules, the logistics has to be on schedule. So I expect a certain level of professionalism from our members. Many of them are still experiencing homelessness. Many are recently housed, and it is very difficult for any of the homeless people to come to work on time and show a great level of professionalism. So I'll say the expectation that I have from our members is different. It has been increased. But very thankfully, our members are actually meeting that expectation quite well. So I'm very proud of them.
Yeah, no, it sure sounds like it. Are there aspects of the farmers market or wholesale that you like most or like least? Are there things that you miss about going to farmers markets?
Yeah, farmers market is very tough. Farmers market is very tough, and the Lancaster, because of our mobility, we
Mm-hmm.
don't have any company van yet. Um, and back then, definitely, we did not have any company van. And I used my personal, very small car to move all the stuff from our facility to the farmers market. And I had to take like multiple trips to drop the stuff at the farmers market site and drop our members at the site.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very tough. And the local farmers market's time was 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. So it's not a prime time for coffee drinker.
Right.
So there weren't not many sales. However, I will say farmers market, that's when I learned the most
Mm-hmm.
about our members, about the trauma that they're going through. The reason is because right now we're doing wholesale because and there are not many times that we directly engage with our customer. We get orders online and we just send it out. But at the farmers market, we have to directly serve the customer, right? And there are many occasions that our members, when how they serve the customer during the service, there are moments that their trauma actually gets revealed. How
Mm-hmm.
they communicate with the customers, how we communicate internally with the team member in front of the customer. And there were many conflicts. And what I miss about farmers market is that we had a very serious conversation within the team about the trauma, about the conflicts that we have during that time.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that we created is what we call the honest talk. Whenever we have a conflict, whenever we have a verbal argument or even physical conflict, we get together, we share the topic, we share the issue, and begin sharing very honestly about our emotion when that conflict happened. So, for example, our members take turn and they share, I felt in such a way when you treated me like this. So could you please not do that because it hurts me? So we created the policies and structure of communication so that they can share their emotion properly without
Mm-hmm.
harming the other person. And we still do that. We still do honest talk every three weeks. And that's what I miss about farmers market. There was so much uncertainty. Anything can happen. So many conflicts that we experienced. So there were lots, huge dynamics. There's a lot of things going on, and we began coming together, try to solve the problem, come together, try to solve the problem. And I missed that time for that reason, but I don't want to go back.
Yeah, no, so talking about going from the farmer's market, talking about the creation of Honest Talk, do you have any other favorite moments in your career this far or any other favorite projects that you've worked on?
Yes, probably the most memorable moment throughout the time was the first farmers market. Our members, there were 4 members who has been experiencing homelessness, and we call them the founding 4, the 4 homeless individuals who started this coffee journey.
Mm.
And all of the founding 4 have experience of homelessness for more than 10 years. And they haven't worked for so many years. Um, and the first farmers market, I remember we earned about $400, and I allocated $100 to each 4 member, and everybody was crying because it's been so long time. They really put their labor and earned a right money, and I still have that picture that like the tears around our face and just celebrating, just waving the money up in the air. And I think that joy and uh, the excitement is very memorable.
This episode of the SNEED-CAST is brought to you by the SNEED-JET Titan tabletop printer. The Titan is perfect for businesses making the leap from manual to semi-automated coding with its horizontal traversing printhead capable of producing crisp, high-quality prints up to 12.7 millimeters in height. With an intuitive design, simply load your ink cartridge, create or upload your message, position your product, and activate the motor. Porting both solvent and water-based inks in a variety of colors like black, white, red, blue, and even UV, the SNEED-JET Titan accommodates a wide range of surfaces from aluminum cans and plastic bottle caps to food packaging and ceramic items. Upgrade your coding operations today with the versatile and reliable SNEED-JET Titan tabletop printer.
Yeah, no, that's such a nice feeling to have, to be able to have that type of memory. And actually touching on that topic, just because I know that homeless people do have a negative stigma, what would you say are, let me see, yeah. Can you talk about some of the challenges that homeless people go through or some of the stigmas that are associated with them?
Yes, I mean, we face the challenge every single day because we invite people who are going through homelessness. Homeless
Mm.
people, not only they have trauma that occurred in the past, but the condition of homelessness is an ongoing trauma that they have to experience trauma every single day, and they bring that effect of trauma into the workplace. So there are many conflicts, there are many arguments, there are many unexpected situations. So that's why we have a very clear rules and policies, because at the same time I want to understand and embrace their trauma. I have a duty to create a safe working environment for our existing members and participants. So we have a very clear rules and policies, and if you cause any harm verbally or physically to anyone, you are immediately out. Um,
Mm.
but we still provide services and care for those people, meaning that they cannot participate in our program, but we keep our relationship with them so that we still have the one-on-one conversation outside of work. I
Mm.
reach out to them and still give care and still provide resources. And so we try to identify what's the source of the trauma. Is it the homelessness situation? Is it addiction? Is it mental health? So we have to identify the source of the trauma and try to connect them to the right resources before they come back to our work for employment, because there is a certain level of expectation. So if someone is experiencing high level of trauma because of homelessness, then we prioritize that person being connected with housing agency. If that
Okay.
person's trauma caused by addiction, we connect them to the Tarzana, which is the addiction treatment facility that we partner with. So, and those ways we try to overcome the trauma.
And then, with homelessness being such an ongoing issue, how is it that you select your members? How is it that you bring people into the street company? And what does the training process look like?
Yeah, there are two major recruitment
Mhm.
route. First one is word of mouth. So our current members, about 50% of our current long-term employees,
Mhm.
they are experiencing homelessness. And in Lancaster, many homeless people tend to stay around together because there are not many areas that they can stay and have a tent and have an encampment um, without, cities harassment. So there's a certain area that they stay together. So they actually
Mhm.
share their experience with our members, share their experience with street company with their friends. So they share like, hey, street company has changed my life, and you
Mhm.
should try. They hold hands of their friends and just bring their friends to street company, and they introduce their friends to me and say, this guy needs street company, and that's the one way. And the other way,
Okay.
we recruit through our partners. So we partner with housing agencies. There
Mhm.
are many housing agencies up in Lancaster, so we contact them whenever we are recruiting, and we recruit any individuals who are ready to work, who are recently housed or sheltered. And who went through their mental health assessment, and they refer their clients to us so that we have a person who recently housed and want to start working somewhere. So that's the two recruitment medium.
Right. And then in terms of training, because we know that you have a 12 week job readiness program, what does that look like?
Yeah, so 12-week job readiness program is a very we started that about a year and a half ago.
Mhm.
The reason is that we at first we did not have intentions to create this kind of program. We always wanted to just hire them and keep them long term. Uh,
Mhm.
but the challenge was that the number of people that we can hire for a long term employment was limited by our revenue. So if we cannot grow as a company, we cannot hire more people. So
Mhm.
by creating this short-term employment program, we can always hire more people and help them to get hired by other employers. So right now we invite about 25 people per year and give them 3 months training. This is a
Mhm.
paid job training. They earn about $800 per month, and we provide basic job trainings like basic computer skills, resume writing, communication, conflict resolution, teamwork, inventory, so and so. Any works that is involved in coffee roasting process, we give them the training. And during the 3 months period, we have this system navigation services because job is not the only thing that they need in order for them to get back on their feet again. So we identify the barriers for them to achieve successful life. For example, better health and substance abuse issues, mental health issues. We try to identify those barriers and connect them to the right resources that are available in the community. So throughout the 3 months, we give them basic trainings. We help them to get to the right resources for them to reduce their barriers for success. And after 3 months, we connect our graduates directly to the employers who that we have a partnership with. For example, BJ's restaurant, Walmart, and local mom and pop shops. We have this relationship and partnership with them. So we connect our graduates
Mhm.
to the hiring manager so that the hiring manager can have job interview with our participants.
Wow, it sure sounds like you guys are making an impact. And then, if we're able to discuss that a little bit more, what would you say are some of the tangible and intangible benefits of this program?
Yes. So, there are very clear goals. We
Mhm.
want them to get a job because we believe in job. Because a job is the most effective way for any homeless people to re get re-engaged with the community. Um, so the having a job is the first and foremost, the most important, the impact that we want to create. And right now, we've been running this program for about 1.5 year, and we served about 25 homeless individuals, and we
Mhm.
helped about 7 people to get full-time job and about 8 people to get part-time job. And we're still communicating with them, all the graduates, to help them to move to the next level, which is being um, getting professional certification at a college so that they can have a better wage. If someone is working part-time, we want to identify any full-time employment opportunity and we try to transfer them to the full-time job. Um, and and I think the engagement, uh, being part of the community again,
Mhm.
is one very important impact that we want to create. Um, because homeless people are hidden, they are hesitant to get engaged with the community because of harassment, trauma. Um, we don't like any homeless people coming into the restaurant that we're using. That's the reality. For those fear and anxiety, homeless people are hesitant to participate in the community again. But by participating our program, we're really encouraging our participants and homeless people to, you know what, community welcomes you. There is a way. You don't need to be uh, anxious about rejoining the community. So we're teaching and encouraging people to have the mindset that now it's time for you to serve the community through the
Mhm.
products and services that you're creating. Because homeless people, they tend to have this mindset of keep getting received. So whenever they go somewhere, church, somewhere like restaurant, they expect to receive something from the community because they are in need. But I always challenge them, you don't need to do that. You We always have to have this mindset that no matter what you're going experiencing, either it's a homelessness or addiction, there are ways that you can contribute to the community, that there are ways that you can serve others. So we do it through our program. We do have a public events that we go to, that we do the pour over coffee brewing and serve the coffee to the community members. By doing
Mhm.
that activity, they're actually being engaged in the service of serving the community so that they are appreciated. The feeling of appreciation is great. That's a huge motivation, you know. So I'll say that's one of the most important impact that we're trying to create through our job
Right.
program.
And then, do you ever see yourself expanding the company to other areas? Because obviously, homelessness isn't just limited to California. Do you ever see yourself branching out?
Yeah, I mean many people ask me that.
Mhm.
So that's why we're considering opening up a coffee shop so that it's
Okay.
easier for us to expand to other region. So
Mhm.
what we are considering, it's not a concrete plan yet. We want to have a very solid coffee shop business model, social enterprise business model, and we don't want to expand and directly operate that coffee shop in other region. It's too hard for us. But we want
Mhm.
to partner with other nonprofit who are already have been serving that community. We help them to open coffee shop there and we
Mm-hmm.
provide all the resources, the coffee beans and the machines and everything, so that the organization in that community directly involved in operating the coffee shop. So yes,
Right.
in my mind and head, there's some way, but not at the moment.
Okay. And then, so here at Sneed, we actually work with so many like mom and pop shops, so many small businesses, medium-sized businesses too. With that being said, if our customers wanted to support going forward, how could they potentially order Caster's coffee?
Wonderful. Go to www.casterscoffee.com, casterscoffee.com. And the best way that you can support us is buying our
Mm-hmm.
coffee. I know the business owners out there, you drink coffee at the office. If you buy our coffee, we use
Mm-hmm.
100% of our coffee sales revenue to employ homeless people. So your coffee, the every cup of coffee that you're drinking in the morning with your team members is actually creating jobs for homeless people. So please buy our coffee. And another way that you can support street companies is professional volunteerism. If you
Mm-hmm.
are a talented marketing person, if you are a talented designer, or text preparer, we need all these supports, because as a CEO of a nonprofit and street company, I prioritize hiring unhoused people. We want to minimize our spending and expenses on hiring professionals. So we need professional volunteerism to, fill the gap that we have.
Well, thank you so much, Jesse. This has all been great. I feel like I learned tons. I know our customers are going to learn tons from this interview. If there's anything that you would like to leave our viewers with, now's the time to say it.
Yes, I know homelessness is a huge problem, um, but street company thinks a little differently. We think people who are going through experience homelessness can be a great asset to our community. If there are employers who understand homelessness, if there are jobs that are reserved for homeless people, if there are environments where people can come and feel compassion rather than competition, I think there are many homeless people who are talented and who has great experiences that can come to your job and really thrive with your company. So I really urge and challenge all the viewers and listeners to think a little differently and start seeing homeless people as your friend who can build your company together. That's it.
Thank you so much, Jesse.